Welcome everyone. Here in this video I am going to discuss about the lists in Python and some of the very basic operations on the list. So before we start, one needs to know what the list is in Python. So a list in Python is a kind of collection or a data structure which can contain the heterogeneous data types and which is mutable. So here the mutable means that after creation of the list we can always modify or change the elements of it. So here's a list of the topics that I'm going to cover here in this video. So first I'm going to talk about the list in Python. After that we'll declare a list. Then we'll talk about the syntaxes, and then creating and viewing a list, and then fetching the values by length and taking the indexes, and then we'll try to include tuples and dictionaries in the list. Then we're going to cover some of the functions, inbuilt functions of the Python in the subsequent topics here. So I am on the PyCharm as an IDE. I am using PyCharm here, and I have my project created here. So this is just Python basic project here, and so all I have to do here is just to create one Python file, new Python file here. So let's name it working with lists. Okay, let me just define the main function here. Main. Okay, so come yes, so our project is ready here. So first we will try to declare a list. So list is actually declared in a square brackets separated by commas. So let's name the list as subjects. So subjects is just like that. So if the items, the elements of a list is one element of a list is called an item. So here would be the like items here. So it would be separated by commas. And as I said, the list can contain both homogeneous and the heterogeneous data types. So it is not necessary to have that homogeneous data types inside a list. So this is an empty list where we are not sending any values to that list, and we can print that list here like this. Let's name it subjects, then run this program. So here you see it returns an empty list. Now let's give it some value here. So let's give it like literature followed by history followed by geography, then run this program. So here we have got our list. So here we see that literature, history and geography all are the items of that list subjects, and we are by calling this print functions, we can print all the values, or all the we can fetch all the items of the list. So in case if you want to fetch the individual values of the list, you can call like subjects So a list index starts with the 0. So this literature's index value is 0, followed by 1, followed by 2, like this. So student 0, so 0th index of the student should return the literature. Let's check it. See, here we are getting literature as the first element or the 0th indexed element of the list. Similarly, we can get 1, that means we should get history and we should get geography here. Okay, so we have so till now we have declared a list, and we know what an empty list is, and then we have created one list and we can view the data of that list, and then we're going to fetch all the values by calling the length function here. So operating that length function on the list, it returns the length of the elements. It returns the length of the entire list. So if we write like this, it's going to return the length of the list. So total length here you see that is 3. So we can write one for loop to fetch the data like this, all the items. So in length subjects and then subjects I. By writing like this, for I in range length of subjects I, we can just print the values here just like this. Yes, so we can fetch all the values of that list. So first comes the literature, then history, followed by geography. So as I said, the list is could be a collection of heterogeneous data types. So a list can contain one tuple and one dictionary and other data types as well. So let's clear this out here. So let's create another list, heterogeneous data type. Let's put it like 1 English 54, then French. So in this output we are getting that all the items here in this list, so it does not throw any error because it supports the heterogeneous data types. So here this data type is just an int, and this is like string here, and okay, so here we are going to include one tuple here, so 2, 5. So this is one set of tuple here. So and this is, let's run this code, see, so it can contain one tuple here as well. So it's still not throwing an error and it works just fine. Let's create a dictionary here. So it would be like here ABC. It is also key value pairs, so it's comma separated. So TF, I think this would work. Yes. So now it can contain one dictionary along with the 2 strings. Let's put one tuple along with the dictionary. 34. Let's put it in a mixed way, so like this. Okay, yes, so it's kind of a mixed tuple here, one string along with one integer and one dictionary from here to here and two strings. So total items here is 1 2 3 4. So if we try to get the length of this, subjects, so it is 4. So you see the entire dictionary has been taken as one item and the entire tuple has been taken as another item. So it's not like 1 2 3 4 5 6, not like that. So the list is taking it is taking as one separate comma separated value. So total is 4. The length is 4 here. So we are done with the different data types injection in the list. Let's move on to the next one. So now I'm going to cover a few functionalities, a few built-in functions of the Python that can operate on a list. So here I'm going to talk about that append and the insert functionality here. So we have this list here. Okay. So another one thing that before I move on to the next topic, I would like to say one thing here, that I said that we can modify the data of a list. So the modification means that here at the index 1 position, that means second element of that list is range here. So after creation of the list, we can always change the data of the list. So let's try it. Let's try changing the data of the list and see how it comes. So first, for that we have to fetch that value, that means the index position. So here we see that range is at first positions of that list. So that means it should be subjects 1, that means the first index. Now I'm going to change it to range 1 and save and then run. So see here it has changed the first index value, the value at the first positions, first index of the list, and then it changed to it range 1. Now then after that we are printing that subjects and we are getting this as an output. So that means the strings, that means the lists are mutable. Okay, so I'm moving on to that next section here, that is append and the insert functionality operations on a list. So here what we are going to do, that this append, we are going to call the append functionality here. So append function, using append function we can insert an item, we can insert an item in the list, but it always takes the last positions of the list. So let's check it out. Append, let's say ttt this case. Oh, we have to print that list again to get the updated value here. So as we see here, the append functions operates on that list and it inserts the value at the end of that list. So here is the updated value of our list, this one, and we see these 40s have been added at the end of the list. Now I'm going to tell about the insert functionality here. So the difference between the append and the insert is that insert can take one particular index positions in order to insert a value. So that means append can only insert a value at the end, but insert function can add that value at any desired positions of that list. So here we are going to say at the third index position we are going to enter one new value. Let's name it new and print this one. I've got our list here. the new, so 0, 1, 2 and 3. So at the third positions we are getting our updated value here. I mean our newly added item in the list. After that I'm moving on to that removal of an item from a list, remove, pop and clear all functions. So here in the remove function we specify the name of that item. So our latest added item is new. Let's say I'm going to remove this particular item here from that list. So I'll pass that value of that item and then I'll print it. Print subjects. So here it's gone. Now we see the updated value here. So we have removed this particular item from that list. Now pop and clear all function. So after that, if we call that pop function here, what would it do? Print subjects and see. So this pop function actually takes out the last element of that list. So it's kind of a stack and it takes the last element of that particular list, and here it is printing the updated one. And if you call the clear all function here, clear, yes, so that means it will clear everything here. Let me print this list. Okay, see, now we are getting an empty list at the end. That means calling that clear function, it removes all the items available in the list, and it would printing that same, would returning the empty list. So what about the duplicate values count and index that we have as the last topic here? So duplicate values count and index. So let's not clear that list here so that we can work further. Yes, so we have our list till this point. Now we are going to insert one duplicate value in the list here. So we can call the append function, and let's say we are going to insert English and see whether it allows the duplicate values or not. So yes, so it allows the duplicate values here because the first item of the list is English and the last item also is English here. Now count and index value here, subjects.count, actually print this value. Okay, so this count is the function count is going to return that particular the number of occurrences of that particular item in this list. So we have called the count function and we are passing the English as a parameter here, and we are getting output 2. That means English, this particular item's occurrence in this entire list is 2. Twice it occurred in this list. And that index position also we can get it. Let me print subjects index, I guess, yes, index of English. So the English index, so the index function actually returns the first occurrence of that particular item in this list. So Even though we have English at the first position, that means 0th index, and at the last positions of the list, but since this is the first position where English, that particular item appeared, so we are gonna get that index 0 here. And yes, so that's what. Now if, but the count will always return the number of, or the total number of the occurrences in the list. So here is the difference between the count and the index functions. So thank you very much.